Today's episode, we're going to be telling you how to get out of each group of ranks. Whether you're silver and you're just starting out, or you've already played for a while and you're already ranked higher, we've got you covered, and we've got some great tips and advice that can help you get to the next level. With this comprehensive guide, you'll be able to reach the rank of your dreams in no time. So let's begin by talking about how to get out of the silver ranks. Playing in silver can be very, very annoying because you really can't rely on your teammates, and smurfing is so prevalent there. Those two things immediately are something you should consider. Why can't you rely on your teammates, and why are there so many smurfs? The answer is simple. It's because silver players lack basic fundamental skills. Because of that, smurfs that have some aiming skills and good crosshair placement can essentially run over them. All you have to do to get out of silver is start developing your fundamentals so that you can outskill most of your opponents. So how would you go about getting these essential skills down? Start by working on your aim. You can do this by hopping onto the Aimbot's community map and trying out some different shooting styles. Getting used to aiming at the head might be tedious at first, but if you can get used to it early on, your aim will be a lot better once it gets more and more developed. So, once you've ranked out of silver, how do you get out of gold nova? Well, the biggest difference between nova and silver players is mostly in what stage of developing their skills they are. In nova, a lot of the time, who wins and loses comes down to who can kill their opponents faster. So if you're able to stop moving and start firing at your opponents faster, you'll be able to win a lot more duels, assuming you can hit your shots anyways. Another way to decrease time to kill is developing crosshair placement. Crosshair placement is when you try to place your crosshair at a strategic position. So if you're clearing an angle, aim at the spot you think an enemy might be before you even see them. Always make sure your crosshair is at head height as well. This will allow you to instantly counter strafe and headshot someone if they come into your crosshair. So once you get out of gold nova, things change up a little bit. Up until this point, you can just focus solely on your aiming skills and you'll be able to run out and kill everyone. But in Master Guardian, people will, like you, have also developed their aim a bit. Sure, there's still a lot of room for improvement, but once you get to Master Guardian, you should be still working on your aim. But more on that later. You can't expect yourself to out-aim and out-react everyone anymore, or at least if you do, you will have limited success. So once you get to Master Guardian, you need to start working on your game sense as well as your nade knowledge. Try to find smokes and flashes to deal with the spots that you find the toughest to deal with. For instance, if you're getting picked by the Opera in Window of Mirage, learn a window smoke. Is window no issue for you, but instead you always get killed from CT? Well, you know what to do. Learn a smoke for CT. Well, now that you know how to throw smokes, flashes, molotovs, and HE grenades, you just need to learn when to use them. Learning when to use your utility will take a lot of experience to do correctly, but in order to improve on it faster, always try to think of why you're throwing that specific piece of utility. As for game sense, this is really hard to teach, and honestly will just come down to time. If you want to improve faster, try to get into the habit of watching demos, or even better, watch a demo with a coach. Now that you've got one of the Eagle ranks, or even the Supreme rank, there's only one more step to go, and that's reaching Global Elite. Getting Global Elite is much harder than reaching any of the ranks before it, and how could it not be? Global Elite is the rarest rank after all. But that's not the only thing that makes it so difficult. Truthfully, the difference between a Legendary Eagle and a Global Elite isn't all that noticeable. So what reaching Global Elite comes down to is really just winning more than half your games rather than hard carrying. Because more likely than not, you won't be able to carry these kinds of games all by yourself. So if you want to rank up further, you'll have to start relying on team play, preferably with some pre-mades, because playing with friends is more fun and people tend to become less tilted whenever they play with their friends. Try to communicate everything you might find helpful if a teammate communicated. An example of something that might not be super obvious but can really make a difference is if you tell your teammates when you're just spamming a smoke and there is no threat. Let's say you're a short player on B Mirage and you hear your teammate who's holding B apps firing all guns blazing. You might want to leave short and help out your teammate, or at least that should be your instinct, but if your teammate is only spamming a smoke, that rotation wasn't necessary and maybe even allowed your opponents to get out mid for free. Little things like this may not seem like a lot, but can change the outcome of the round and therefore can win you games. As soon as you reach Legendary Eagle or higher, you basically want to find out all those little things that will allow you to win an extra game here or there. And of course, you'll still want to keep practicing your mechanics, because even most global elites have lots of room for improvement left. Although, once you're at the point of becoming a global elite, the process of improving your mechanical aim becomes slower and slower, and eventually you'll start to see diminishing returns. Basically, once you get to the Eagle ranks, all you have to do to get global is keep working on your fundamentals and try to find all the little things that can help you win more games. After all, you just need to win a few more games than you lose and you'll eventually get global.